beyond the whole making a movie based on a computer game issue, one of the challenges of Warcraft is that it's such a big world. There's so much lore, and there's so much you could do with the film that it was really, I think that the challenge was always finding something which felt truthful to the essence of what all of us and from my perspective made Warcraft unique. And if you go back far enough into the RTSs, there was the subtitle Orcs vs. Humans, and that kind of felt like it should be about how that all started, and that's kind of where we're sort of going with this.
It brings up the balance.
Yes, yeah, and that was kind of my big, I guess the big idea I sort of pitched in, which sort of resonated very much, I think, with what Blizzard were thinking way back when, is that the script that I was shown, because obviously it was a pre-existing project that had been worked on for a while, was very human-centric. And my take was, look, the beauty of the game is that there are heroes on both sides, and it really is. The story is about the fact that in a conflict like this, there are reasons that go beyond good versus evil. A lot of it is about a situation that just doesn't seem to have any peaceful resolution. And let's get too highbrow about it, but the idea is that there can be good guys on both sides, and a conflict can arise not because there's good and evil, but because there doesn't seem to be a way around it. And that's what I wanted to do with the film. When I pitched how I would want to change the script, it was, look, this needs to be a story from the human perspective, but equally from the orc perspective. And you need to have orc heroes who are just as strong, just as empathetic, and get just as much screen time as the humans do. So that was kind of my pitch. Seemed to click.
Like, you obviously chased the film really hard.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when they finally said yes? Like, do you remember the moment where they... Did you celebrate? Were you kind of...
I was thrilled. We'd been off source code for a while, and there was a lot of offers that were coming in, which were either another source code under a different name, or how about a guy in a space station on his own, and he finds other guys just like him. Basically, everyone just wants me to make the same movie again, and I didn't want to do that. And some of you may know that I'm a gamer for a long time, and the opportunity to take a true world building project on this kind of scale and start it from scratch, not do a sequel, but actually be there at the beginning. You can't. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to do that, so I did chase it.
Yeah. And plus, you stopped Uwe Boll from making it. So.
That was never going to happen. Not Warcraft.
Ben was talking about earlier that you shared his vision with him of like shooting this with a lot of wide angles, like a samurai movie, like a western. Where did that vision for Warcraft come from?
Well, I mean, I don't want to give away too much about the film, but there is a lot of Sergio Leone in parts of this film, and I think the idea of there are villains in this film, but it's not good guys being the humans and orcs being the bad guys, but there's villains and there's heroes, and having sort of archetypes that sort of find themselves in sort of facing off situations, whether it's something that feels like a samurai movie or a western. I wanted those moments, and I wanted that kind of spectacle, and I wanted that build-up. I mean, I think we've seen an awful lot of films where you spend 15, 20, 25 minutes watching epic battles and not actually being invested in any of the individual participants. And I wanted to have something where you really cared about an individual and how it builds up for them personally when they come to their for their showdowns.
Visually, how do you get something like this to look very distinct and from things like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and all the fantasy we've been watching all these years?
Well, I mean, we were very lucky. We kind of had something right up front in the Warcraft game, which gave us a starting point, and it was Gavin Bouquet, who's our production designer. The challenge I gave him was, how can we make this feel real? How can we take that without making it grim and gritty, which is one avenue. And obviously no one, we're not trying to make a film which looks like the Lord of the Rings films. I think we have a very unique voice, and there's a lot of opportunities to express that uniqueness. And it was about taking what's in the Warcraft realm, which is there's a real mix of different periods of architecture. I mean, even in a set like this, you have it. You have sort of these medieval and Tudor areas here, and Tudor areas over there, and these sort of different periods over here. And it is that kind of mashup that makes Warcraft so unique, and hopefully comes across in the film.
What kind of reception do you think this is going to get compared to, the other fantasy epics like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones?
For me personally, it was always about making a film which stood on its own right, and the biggest challenge for us isn't getting Warcraft fans to come and see this film. It's opening the minds of people who haven't played Warcraft before and make them feel comfortable that this is a movie that they're really going to enjoy, even if they know nothing about Warcraft world. So that that as a film, I know we've got that, and we've got a great story. Truly, I think special performances from the actors that we have on this, and the special effects. I mean, I don't know if you've met Bill Westenhofer yet, but double Oscar winning. I mean, he's phenomenal, and he's a Warcraft player, and he's sort of invested in making sure that this works. And we've got ILM doing the effects, and the stuff that they've been doing, which you're not going to be able to see, is really just amazing. I mean, every couple of years there is a film which is going to push the boundaries of what the technology is capable of, and in a few years' time it won't be this film, but right now it's this film. We're doing things no one else has done.
Was that always the plan from the beginning, that this needs to be a technology-driven film?
Well, from my perspective, it was. Yeah, I mean, I think to get the orcs right, and to actually, again, it's about if you're going to tell the story from both sides, you're going to get the audience to empathize and care about these characters. You have to make their performances. Yeah, you've got to make those performances as easy for the audience to care about and engage with as you can. That's where the technology came in, and that's where the bleeding edge of that technology came in.
How was it going from your previous 2 movies to a production this scale, having to deal with, 2 production companies and Blizzard and everyone over your shoulder and a lot of responsibility?
That's, that part of it is not that different, because on Source Code we had multiple production companies who were involved, and the funny thing is the similarities are the surprises. So you're always fighting against budget constraints. No matter how big the film gets, there's always the things you want to do are always bigger than the materials you have to do it. So you're always trying to find a way to refine things and boil down the ideas and keep what's strongest and get rid of what's weakest and is just the fat. So you're always doing that. But you get to work with truly amazing people who are able to just constantly feed you new ideas and new ways of doing things and help you see things in different ways, and with their experience and with their creativity, and that's just been the fun part. Is when you work on a film with this size, you get to work with the very best people, and that's what makes it really, really special.
So what's your next step?
Like I said, we've got about a week left of this shooting. Then I'm going to go on holiday, clear my brain, and get ready for the edit. And then I'm going to be spending the next 16 years doing the edit. I'm spending a lot of time getting the edit right and working with ILM and Bill working on special effects, and there's so much to do after this. But I mean, it's been an epic shoot, and then I'm going to get a little rest, and then it's going to be an epic post-production.
And after Warcraft?
Warcraft 2, right?
I haven't even really been able to think about it. I mean, we'll see what happens next. Hopefully people come and watch the movie.
You're a fan of the game. We're sitting here on this set, which is just totally Warcraft brought to life. Is there an Easter egg on the set?
Oh my god, yeah.
Well, one that you're super proud to have worked on.
Oh, mass. Well, yeah, of course. I don't know. I don't think I should say really though. I don't think so. I long time ago I used to run a guild for a rival game, Ultima Online. And then after we'd been playing that for a few years in the beta test, and then we played that for a while, and then we moved to EverQuest for a short period of time. Then we all moved to Warcraft. So for those guys who still have their guild still running, I'm not in it anymore. I got busy. But for those guys, there's an Easter egg in for them.
What character did you play in Warcraft?
Always warrior. Always unboring. I mean, there's always people who want to do mages and do magic, but I just like, give me a club, I want to axe it. It's kind of my thing.
Awesome. Did you play Horde or Alliance?
I played both. I started off Alliance, and then after.
And then you saw the light.
That's
That's the toughest question you're gonna get all night.
No, I know. No, I play both sides. I must admit, because of work, I only ever went orc to level 50 back in vanilla days. So I never maxed out on orc side.
50 was tough in vanilla days.
Are you going to take any of your time off and maybe get into Draenor?
No, I'd probably take my iPad with me because obviously there's
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
Oh, yeah.
I'd take that with me. I've already had. I was like playing with it, and like I've got so much shit to do.
What was your first like computer or video game experience as a kid? Do you
Commodore 64, and there was two teams back then. There was the Specky guys and the Commodore
Or the
guys.
BBC guys if you had boring parents. You know, it's educational, you know. Like.
but they all involved getting gaming magazines and typing in your own code so that you could play, you know, a pixel flying past two other pixels. So those are my earliest games. Well, actually, that's not true because I used to have I had an Atari.
Was it 2600?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody had, I guess.
Yeah.
1 point.
You're not shooting this in 3D, right?
We're not. It is laborious to shoot in 3D. It has a big effect on what it is you have to do and the equipment that you use. I know people kind of cringe at it, but the post-conversion process is constantly being streamlined and improved and is very good now. We'll probably go that route.
And you've got time to get it right.
It will only, we have the time to do it right, and it won't happen if it's not right. Okay, I gotta go.
Thank you so much.
So much.